Hello dear students, welcome to a new statistics lesson. Today we'll be talking about the resources of collecting data. We have two types of resources. The first one is called the primary resources, or it can also be called the field resources. These are the resources which we originally get data through interviewing or questionnaires like surveys, and this type is distinguished by accuracy. However, it needs time and efforts, besides it is highly expensive to conduct such a type. The second type of resources is called the secondary resources, and sometimes we call it the historical resources. We can get our data from authorities and agencies formerly work, such as Central Agency for Mobilization and Statistics, Internet and Media. This type is a good type of resources such that it saves time and money. Let's now see the method of collecting data. The method of collecting data is determined according to the aim and the size of the statistical society under study. For example, the students of a school represent a statistical society whose value is the student. Let's see the method of mass population. It means to collect the data related to the phenomenon of the statistical society. It's used to include all the society, such as the population. This type is including all the values and it's unbiased. In addition, the outcomes are so accurate. The disadvantages of such a method are it needs long time and great effort. Furthermore, it costs much money. Second, methods of samples. It mainly depends upon selecting a sample from the statistical society that it represents. We conduct researches on the sample. The outcomes we get are generalized on the whole society. Advantages of using methods of samples. First thing, it saves time, effort, and money. The second thing, the only way to collect data about gigantic societies like fish. The third advantage, the only method to study some limited societies, such as check the patient's blood by getting a sample, because if we check the whole blood, it will lead to death. And also, check the production of a factory producing electric lamps to determine the validity of the lamp, which means to know for how long the lamp can be used before getting burned. How we select samples and the conditions must be found in getting a sample. First, the bias selection. Samples are not randomly selected. It means that we select the sample in a way to satisfy the objectives of the research. This is called as the sample deliberate. For example, when we want to know how the students understood a lesson in mathematics, we must analyze the outcomes of the test by considering the outcomes of a group of students studied the same topic without the other students. This is not a random selection. Second, random selection, or in other ways we can call it the random samples. It means to select a sample such that the chance of getting any value from the society is equal. Let's now see the simple random sample. The simple random sample is the simplest type of samples, and it can be get from the homogeneous societies where their selection is related to the size and number of units in the society. If the size of the society is small, like for example, when we choose 5 students of a 40-student class, then we can prepare a card for each student on which their names or numbers are written. Where all the cards are identical, put them back again in the box and draw a card from the box randomly and return the ball back again. Another type of random samples is called the layer random sample. When the society needed to be examined in heterogeneous or made up of qualitative sets that are different in characteristics, the society is divided into homogeneous sets according to the characteristics forming it. For example, when we want to study an educational level of society of 400 persons, where the ratio of males to females is 3:2, and we want to select a sample of 50 persons, we must select 30 persons from the male layer and 20 persons from the female layer randomly. Let's go to see an example. At a faculty, there are 4,000 university students in the first grade, 3,000 in the second grade, 2,000 in the third grade, and 1,000 in the fourth grade. If we want to draw a layer sample of 500 students, where each layer is represented in this sample according to the size, calculate the number of students in each layer in the sample. So, we're going to write that the first grade, they are 4,000 students. The second grade, they are 3,000 students. The third grade, they are 2,000 students. And in the fourth grade, they are 1,000 students. So, you can see that the total here is 10,000 students. And here the question says that in the sample, the total is 500 students. So to find the number of students in each layer, we're going to cross multiply. So to know the number of students in the first grade, we're going to cross multiply 500 times 4,000 over 10,000. And the result will be 200 students. For the second grade, we're going to cross multiply 3,000 times 500 over 10,000. The result will be 150 students. For the third grade, with the same way, we cross multiply 2,000 times 500 over 10,000. It will give us 100 students, where finally the fourth grade students, if we cross multiply, it would be 1,000 times 500 over 10,000. That will give us 50 students. If you want to double check, if you add the number of students in each layer, they all will give you 500 students. At this point, dear students, we came to the end of our session. Thank you very much and good luck.